Welcome everybody to How Fast Will It Go, and today we're dealing with the 1957 Porsche 356A Speedster. Now this has 960 horsepower, 630 pounds-feet of torque from a 4-litre twin-turbocharged flat-6 engine. The car itself now weighs 1,831 pounds, has all-wheel drive, and it can handle 0 to 60 in 3.055 seconds and 0 to 106.363 seconds. So I figured, since we were in the Beetle in the last episode, we may as well go in for a car that was actually based on that. And yeah, so this is a bit of a silly car, but it is also one that might well prove to be a bit faster than expected, especially since it's now dealing with 900 horsepower more than it had originally, while weighing extremely little in the way of weight, as yeah, it's far lighter than the Beetle, for instance, from the last episode. So yeah, let's get out there and see what this car can do. So we've had Porsches before that have been really rather rapid on this series, but my theory is with this having so much more power than it had originally, while not really having the best handling even with upgrades, this is going to be a bit of a glass cannon. It's going to get up to a certain rate of speed and then struggle to ever get there again, is my fear. We've seen that with other cars like the Jaguar D-Type, and look at it, it's already squirming all over. So yeah, there's 230, 240. Oh, yeah, it's really shifting about. It's really a car that you have to just point in one direction and hope it will be able to handle that. There's 245, so we've matched the Beetle from the previous episode at least. Yeah, it squirms all over the place. It's nowhere near as stable as the Beetle was. Maybe the aerodynamics are playing havoc with this being a convertible, I don't know, but something is making this squirm around a lot more than the Beetle ever did. Which you wouldn't expect. Even with upgraded handling on both cars, you'd expect this to be the better of the two out of the Beetle, but apparently not. Maybe the lack of weight in this is also harming it, because it's got the less weight you have over the wheels of a car, the less, you know, grip you're gonna have, because there's less pressing down on those wheels. So maybe that extra 200 pounds or so on the Beetle is what really helped that. Quite sure, but either way it is nowhere near as manageable as the Beetle. Yes, the Beetle had its own issues. I think it had a fair bit of understeer, but I'd rather that than it's squirming around on its own, you know, rather than me inputting any of that. It's just doing it when it wants, and that is really annoying, especially when you're trying to get a high rate of speed. Aren't we going to do any more? Let's do 46, 48, 49, 50. Well, at least we've beaten the Beetle now, but at the cost of going off-road. So yeah, it's one of the few instances again that where we're quicker on this side of the motorway than the original side. But yeah, this is easily one of the worst handling cars that we've had on this series by far. But then again, that's kind of to be expected. It's a late 50s, you know, sports car based on a vehicle that wasn't a sports car, and yeah, it's also dealing with 900 horsepower more than it was originally, and far greater acceleration and speed. So even with the handling upgrades that it's been given, you know, wider tyres, grippier tyres, slower suspension, less in the way of weight, stiffening, and all of that, it's really still not able to deal with any of the power, which I guess it's kind of realistic in its own right. But yeah, there we go. 250 miles an hour. By no means the fastest Porsche that we've had on this series, but yeah, still a reasonable speed, but yeah, far behind the best that of Porsche have had. And yeah, but at least it's not the slowest Porsche that we've had, as it's managed to match the likes of a Maserati 300S from the same year as this, an Aston Martin Vantage, and a Ferrari FF. It's beaten a Mitsubishi GTO. It's also beaten the 356A 1600 Super version of this car by 1 mile an hour, as well as the Aston Martin Vanquish Zagato Coupe, Aston Martin DBR1, Formula Drift Ferrari 599, the Triumph TR6 Pi, the Volkswagen Beetle from the previous episode, as well as the Mercedes-Benz SL65, Morgan Aero Super Sports, Austin Healey 3000 Mark III, and the Willys MB Jeep. So yeah, fairly reasonable top speed, but like I said, the handling is woeful. It's not predictable at all in terms of what it's going to do, so it's really hard to get the measure of it and really be able to be confident with it. So therefore, you're constantly hesitant if it's going to spin out or lose grip or anything like that. So it's a really rather difficult car to drive, but at least it's managed 250 miles an hour, so it's, yeah, far from the slowest that we've had, but yeah, handling wise, really rather woeful. Nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.